Why do you want a catapult? In this day and age, there's not many reasons to make a catapult. Could be a student building one for a project, or you could just be making it for fun, or a peasant in the early 1200s sieging a castle. Well, this is a low-cost build for making a catapult. It uses a pretty old method that doesn't scale very well into very big, but this can launch a tennis ball pretty far. And it's not super safe, but don't try this at home. You need a 2x6, a 2x4, and a thin sturdy stick, as well as string. I decided to use paracord because I asked ChatGPT while I was at Walmart, and it said this was the easiest thing to do. It said nylon would work, but with nylon being thin, you have to go around a whole bunch more times. If you could find a thicker version, it'd make it easier to make the catapult spring area, the torsion mechanism. This isn't really a tutorial, but you can see from this build how to make it. It's pretty simple. And there are some improvements I made from my first version to my second version. And the first one was a box frame with a hole that is a little bit lower than I'd like, and it's a lot wider than my second one. It doesn't have to be as wide to get the force out. I think you have to turn it less and be less fine-tunable. That's something that might be there. And you use less rope, so thinner is probably going to be the way. The box frame is better. I was noticing I had to add an extra piece of wood to my final version just because it was just bending the screws right out of the wood. That wasn't that good. I also moved the hole a lot higher, that way I have more angle for the stick to move, and that allows it to fly farther, I hope. The weakest point on here is going to be the sticks that turn. I've definitely broken a couple of those by twisting a bit too hard, and it just snapped right through it. So that's probably something I might want to improve, but I'm fine with that being the weakest point. There are also minor improvements that I made, like using a router along the hole that I'm going to pass the rope through. It just makes it smoother and it's a little easier, especially with the size of the stick affecting the amount of room I have to pass the string through. There are some things which I did not optimize. One of those is a consistent launch. And depending on what angle you're holding the ball and how far back you get a completely different level. So sometimes it was going way over the house, and I actually lost 2 balls in a row. I thought I would find them, but I did not. And sometimes you just get one that comes almost straight back at you or straight at eye level. And thanks for watching.